Before we get started, does anyone want to get out?
Hello, everybody. I am Nick from the Phoenix Press. Joining me is Fire Nation apologist Jared from Comics League. How you doing, buddy?
Doing pretty well. How about yourself?
Pretty good. I feel like doing some rating, Southern rating. So yes, we are covering the episode, the Southern Raiders on this one. We're kind of winding down towards the finale here. What did you think of this episode?
All right. So this was kind of an interesting thing for me because when I was watching the episode, I was thinking something's up here. So, like something doesn't sit right with me. Then I realized it's not the content of the episode. Far from it. The content of the episode is fine. It's where it's placed because they're building up toward the Fire Nation battle. And then all of a sudden that they're just like, let's take a break and talk about all these side stories. And that's my problem with season 3. They're building up toward this battle. And all of a sudden they're like, no, let's spend like multiple episodes just dealing with everyone else's drama BS.
To be fair, I think while the episodes are good, I do agree with you. I think the problem is this season is very heavily uneven. For a show about balance, the season really isn't that balanced, Like the first half of the season is really kind of a nothing burger. And then like the second half, things just happen so rapidly. Like Zuko joining the team is such a big like shift dynamic that they have to basically get each of the main characters on board.
They say like, okay, we have to do this. This is the most important thing ever. With these other things, if they had just, I think that my problem with season 3 is that to me it's poorly organized.
I mean, you could make the argument, if I'm going to play Fire Lord's advocate here, is the defeat at the Black Sun was so traumatic. You kind of needed to spend most of the next half kind of recovering.
It's too much. I'm like, you're telling me this is the most important battle you're ever going to do, and you're like, now let's take 5 weeks off to just deal with this. And I'm just like,
I mean, they're not really taking it off. They're kind of on the run a little bit.
No, but still, speed it up. This is taking too long. I want to see the battle. I don't want to see all this BS here.
I mean, it is pretty good.
Do a time jump. Do a time jump.
I mean, it is pretty good BS. You got to admit, though.
No, it's good. It's just it's in the wrong part of the season. And that's my problem. That is my problem with season 3 as a whole. It takes too long to get to the point of the season.
All right, so if you've made it with Jared's cringy antics thus far, please give us a like. Feel free to comment, tell him off for how wrong he is. So I think we've established your kind of criticism. So let's just kind of put that in a box, put it on a shelf, and never look at it again. So that removed the episode kind of as its own thing. Did you like it?
Overall, it's important for Katara's character to get like trust with Zuko, and this is kind of how she does that, which I appreciate that. It's kind of weird, though.
There's one scene which will lead you to take off a few points, but we'll get to that. So basically, they're at the I believe it's the Western Air Temple, and everything was fine until the Fire Nation attacked. Did you notice that, like, the thing I really like about this scene is they subtly show that, like, Zuko's kind of gotten a power boost. The fact that, like, every time he's fought Azula before, Azula has always had the upper hand. Like, it's never even been a question that Azula would defeat Zuko. This time, Zuko kind of held his own.
Like that fight. That was a cool fight. The fight on the blimps. I was fine with that. The other thing, actually, wait. My other problem with that is that why are you shooting fire near hot air blimps?
You can already tell Azula's kind of starting to get a little bit, cuckoo.
No, but I'm putting it in your stuff that could explode.
Well, maybe unlike the Germans, they're using helium instead of hydrogen.
They never tell us that.
They never
again,
not
that's
tell us that
because they didn't. I can assume that. So I'm like, It's
Maybe they're using some special gas that is lighter than air.
but they didn't
doesn't get
say
on fire.
but again, Nick, you go around this as many times, but as soon as I saw that one detail, I'm like, that is BS. And why is the fire not like piercing the hide of the blimp?
Well, since it's Fire Nation, maybe they have some sort of coating, like fire retardant coating.
Okay.
That part
I get. It's just you're shooting fire near a blimp. That's just a bad idea.
I mean, Azula has always kind of shown a disregard. Plus Zuko, he's trying to take it down.
But you're on the thing that could explode.
Zuko, I think he has every reason to try and shoot down at it. But for Azula, I just don't think she cares. It's thin. It's thin.
It's very. It's as thin as the argument that you're young.
But I'm not young. I'm an old
I know.
man.
It's that young. It's that thin.
I was there when the Air Nation was died.
Yeah,
I was there,
sat
Jared.
There with chips.
3,000 years ago.
Oh, you were no. You were there 5,000 years ago.
Well, 5,000 years ago was the War of the Ring, and yes, I was there.
Mm-hmm.
I was there, Gandalf.
Yes.
5,000 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I love this joke. But anyway, they get burnt out of their home. I feel like they're kind of going camping in like the same area they were before the Black Sun. And obviously, Katara is kind of making her snipes. And we have probably the funniest scene in the entire episode is Zuko's coming to Sokka's tent and he runs into Suki for some weird reason.
Oh, I think we both know the reason why he ran into Suki.
I mean, especially like he goes to the tent like, hello there, and he's got like a rose, like.
Yeah, I guarantee you that's the reason why he went to Suki.
I think Sokka wanted to practice some water bending of his own.
Sokka wanted to be in the sack. That's what he wanted.
He wanted to bend some water of his own. I love how awkward it is. You can tell Sokka's like, I just want to get him out of here. Just going to get, you know.
Mm-hmm. I like that.
But the best part is like Suki, and like Sokka's just like 2 feet away, and he looks. I love how like you can tell that Zuko knows exactly what's going on, but he just like, I just need to know this information. I don't care. About like crap getting past the censors on that one.
Yeah, I'm like, that's an eventful way. I mean, it happens all the time. It's like, isn't he had on the castle there's a bunch of penises on the castle?
Later that night, Toph looks over. It's like, what is Sokka doing over there? And then it's like, and that's why.
And then he goes, no. And then Sokka goes, I'm watching that student teacher anime on my portable DVD player.
Sorry about that jump cut, people. I had to pause it to tell Jared how I really felt about him.
Sure you didn't.
I had to give him a piece of my mind. Basically, Katara decides that she's Batman now.
Again.
Yes, we are finally completing the loop. Is Katara Batman?
Every one of these characters has become Batman.
At some point, it's kind of a shtick of the show at this point.
It's like every Robin has been Batman at some point.
Oh my god, imagine if we could carry that over to the Teen Titans. Like, is Starfire Batman? Is Robin Batman?
That's our challenge. How many characters become Batman in this show?
All right, that's a little preview for you. I like the idea of the communication tower because, like, it's a nice little bit of world building for like a world that doesn't have the internet. Kind of think about that.
It's cool. I like when these like shows that take place in times that wouldn't have the internet, when it wouldn't have like super advanced technology, somehow figure out a way to like have communication towers or something like that. So it looks like modern force instead of like sometimes war force or something like that, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. The thing that I've always loved about Avatar is they're really good about like building their world around the ability of like bending and like the particulars of this world. I always thought that was really nice attention to detail. And we get to the next kind of sequence where they go on the Southern Raider ship and they interrogate the captain. Katara, after swearing never to use bloodbending, she bloodbends the captain. Okay.
The return of the stupidest thing in Avatar.
Okay. I know your personal cringing aside, but do you get the emotional gravity?
I get it, but to express that they're using something really stupid.
Okay. Just put that aside for the moment, okay? Like, but also like the look on Zuko's face. Like,
Yeah, I get it. I get it. I
it was
still
at that
think
moment
it's stupid as
he
hell.
knew. He almost ducked up.
Yeah, it's still stupid.
Like, you get like the emotional gravity of it. Like, he's
I
so
get it.
far.
I get it. I get it. Again, I get the emotional part of it. I just wish they didn't do bloodbending.
Fair enough. I know you have a bias against it. You know, you're Fire Nation, so I understand.
Okay,
I mean, you live in Florida, so
true.
Florida's Fire Nation.
Well, if anything, it would be a water tribe because it's a beach.
Michigan literally has lakes. We are water tribe.
I have the ocean.
I have lakes.
I have the ocean. It's larger than a lake.
My football team's about to win the Super Bowl. Shut the heck up.
Are you sure about that?
I mean, as of this recording, we're currently up in the championship game. Hi, Future Nick here. I'm working on the editing right now. It's probably about like 5 hours after we recorded that episode. Suffice to say, the Lions are not going to the Super Bowl. I apologize for my overconfidence. Jared, screw you, Wonder Bat.
What's your team?
The Detroit Lions. He's literally looking it up. This is pre-recorded, guys. So like
it's going into overtime, so you're not in the Super Bowl yet.
Not yet. So the fact that we got into overtime.
Dude,
way,
I would be careful being so sure because I was sure about the Falcons-Patriots Super Bowl game.
Patriots, you know.
I'll explain off screen what happened with that.
We record. Okay, so for the record, we record these episodes Sunday night. And as of this, the Lions are still in overtime. Go Lions. we're water tribe.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, what did you think when they showed like the retired Fire Nation general? Like,
that was cool. I like that. The show does well showing the emotional side of war. Just does it at the worst times.
And not just war, but like the fact that like this evil human, he retires and he's tormented by his annoying mother. Mm-hmm. You know. Like, it's kind of like his own kind of personal hell to a degree.
Yeah.
I love that, like, my favorite moments of the episodes. She was protecting another waterbender. Who? Me! And then she goes, like, and, like, stops the water. How cool is that?
That was dope. I like that one. Again,
and then she, like, takes in, like, she's about to kill him. And then she's like, oh, no, take my mother instead. And then she kind of takes pity on him a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
And she realizes just, like, how pathetic he is.
Mm-hmm.
He kind of took the joy out of it. If that was his key to surviving, I do give him some credit. If that was deliberate, you know, which it wasn't. But Aang was right at the end. And overall, it was a good one. And then, did you notice they're back on Ember Island?
Yeah.
I love the stinger at the end of this episode, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They're talking about, oh, killing is never the answer. And then Zuko says, what are you going to do when you meet my father?
Yeah. Because you kind of have to kill the dude.
So that will be the kind of the central conflict for the 2-part finale. But before that finale, we have one more episode. So next week will be the last recorded episode of this series. We are going to do the Ember Island Players, which is basically like a recap episode of the entire series, and it's actually known as like a good recap. It's a 2-part finale, which will be done live. Yeah, Jared. You know, like, the problem you had is just going to be exacerbated. Because, like...
Oh, joy!
What would you give this episode, The Southern Raiders? What rating would you give it?
To be honest, because of its placement, that's going to affect the grading. Probably a 7 out of 10. Because of where it's placed, because it just drags down the pacing of the season.
I realize you're viewing the episode not in isolation, but, like, as in the broader context. I get that.
Because I have to, and this is the way I operate here.
I don't know. I try to take a more holistic view. Like, I totally understand where you're coming from, but just viewing this episode,
that's why I didn't 5 or a 6, because I'm like, overall the episode's good. It's just its place in the season is what kills it.
I would give it an 8. I was going to give it an 8.5, but like hearing kind of like your passionate plea about like the placement, I'll knock some down on it because I do enjoy it. It's got some really great moments, some really great character development. So that's kind of where I put it. We are winding down the series, and like I kind of hinted before, after we do the live stream, we are going to be covering Teen Titans 2003. we're going to be covering the entire series and then the movie. That is what next. I know he's kind of gone back and forth. We're just kind of trying to figure out what was good. So we settled on Teen Titans. Teen Titans! As you kind of see, we've been slowly trying to like work on the rebranding. Like, we've got the logo. No promises, but I'm going to try and have a dedicated intro for Rewatch. Jared putting you on notice. So we're kind of heading towards this thing. And thank you everyone for watching. If you made it this far, please like, comment, subscribe. Tell us what you thought about the episode. Tell us how stupid Jared is. And remember, I can only show you the door.